Hello, and welcome to Canucks Crossing. Last week we had a rather long video looking at individual player stats, my predictions for how certain players would perform, and this week I'll keep it short and sweet with my general predictions on how the Canucks as a whole perform and where I see them finishing in the division. Starting with the forward group, we'll see where most of the Canucks roster issues lie. Pettersson had a pretty bad year last year. And on second line center with Hedl, we saw most games missed and a lot of injuries. Both top line centers have been struggling with being physically fit enough to play a full season. But when healthy, I think both Pettersson and Hedl are good enough to have a solid season. Beside them, our winger depth is pretty solid. Lacking true top end talent, Kane, Besser, DeBrusk, and Garland are all really solid players. But we're really missing that big star. We don't have any Rantanen or Marner, any big superstars on the wing, and I think that's really where the Canucks are lacking. Pettersson can put up some good points, but without somebody crazy to pass to, he's really going to struggle to put up any kind of points. On the depth, however, Canucks forwards are pretty good. The third and fourth line center respectively have really high face-off percentage. Wingers down in that area are fairly solid, and we have a lot of rookies looking to make the call up to the big team. I expect a big upswing in goals scored this year, but it shouldn't be too hard to outdo last year's Canucks on that front. Next up, we have what I see as the most promising part of the Canucks, the defense core. Quinn Hughes does a lot of the heavy lifting here, providing slick puck movement, smooth skating with amazing edges, and a much improved shot over the last couple years. Even as a defenseman, the entire Canucks offense really runs through Quinn Hughes. That being said, the rest of the defense are no slackers either. Filip Hronek and Marcus Pettersson are really solid defensively and can carry their own pair. Not as well as Quinn Hughes, but enough for how much they're being paid. And with Myers making a lot less than what he was before, I think he really fits into this roster as a defensively solid option with a pretty big slap shot from the point. When it comes to depth defensemen, we have a pretty solid stable of rookie defensemen. Tom Willander, Victor Mancini kind of sitting there waiting to get the call up, but DPD has looked really solid in these starting few games, the rookie prospect games. The big thing, again, just like the forwards, will be if the defensemen can stay healthy. We saw last year Myers was the highest played defenseman on the Canucks roster. Hronek and Hughes both missing significant time due to injury. So if they can stay healthy, I think they'll be okay. But even if they have just a couple injuries, I think we'll see good showing from our rookies calling up just for whatever time they're needed. Last but certainly not least, we have the goaltending tandem in Demko and Lankinen. I think when healthy, this is easily a top 10, if not top 5 tandem in the league. Demko has shown time and time again that when in big games, he can just turn it on. He's ready to go. He can win even when the Canucks don't deserve it and just be that solid presence they need for them to truly shine offensively. The Canucks offense plays much more loose and has a lot more flash to their play, with big plays really driving the Canucks offense. When Demko's on the ice, he just gives them that stability that they need to score. Behind him, we have Lankinen playing backup, hopefully playing backup this year. Last year, taking a lion's share of the games with Demko out injured and Shilov's really not being an option. I think we'll see better performance out of Lankinen, which should be a big boon to the Canucks with him playing a lot less games this year. In the end, similar to our center depth issues and the challenges facing defense, the Canucks goaltending will really rely on players' ability to play a full season of NHL hockey and weather the storm on any injuries that may come their way. At the end of the season, my prediction for the Canucks is that they're going to finish either second or third in the Pacific with a little over 100 points. This may seem super optimistic to a lot of fans, and I know it makes people nervous thinking about it, but this team is not only fairly young, they are quite hungry for success, with a lot of players either in career years or looking at contract extensions soon, as well as prospects who are looking to start their NHL career, so looking to crack the lineup. I think a lot of the players on this team are super hungry, and the desire is super strong with this team. The high-end skill is certainly there. Pettersson has shown 102 points in one season, 89 points in another season. Brock Besser with nearly 50 goals in a season, that they can really put up some really consistent numbers and some good performances and show up in those big games, clutch moments. So I think with the current lineup changes, we'll see a big change in how the Canucks kind of carry themselves. I think Evander Kane's a big add. The departure of JT Miller just kind of being a toxic locker room pest is huge. And I think the desire really is there to perform and keep players like Quinn Hughes with the Canucks for a long time. We see also the Canucks super positive about their teammates, to see them really uplifting each other and excited that either one is staying. We saw that with the Garland extension, the Bester extension, that these players really want to stay here. And I think the stuff with Hughes gets like blown out of proportion as well. I think he's made it fairly clear that he wants to win in Vancouver, but I don't think anybody can blame him if he really doesn't see it. So I think there really is just a lot of drive to get this done this year, and I think they will do it. We'll end this video with just one more prediction. The NHL preseason is just about to begin. The Canucks will play one preseason game on Sunday versus the Seattle Kraken. Normally we don't see too many NHL stars, but I think we'll see quite a bit out of our starting goaltender Thatcher Demko and Elias Pettersson this preseason. Pettersson just looking to like kind of find his game a little more, get that confidence going. I think it'll do him some good to really just get the reps in on the ice and quiet some of the fans about how bad a year he had last year. And I think Demko's really just looking to play hockey. He hasn't played much in the last 2 years at all. So I think he'll be wanting to get nice and warm before the season starts. We'll go into a quick prediction. I think the Canucks will barely take this first game 4-3. That just coming off them playing a young prospect game versus the Seattle Kraken recently, where they gave up 3-0 lead to lose 5-3 to the Seattle Kraken. Well, yeah, we'll see mostly a lot of the same players, a lot of the AHL stars coming up for that, with some people swapped out for some of the younger NHL rosters. So I think that's a pretty reasonable start to the season for the Canucks. Again, not seeing too many stars for that one. And that's it. We'll end the video there. When we come back next week, we'll be talking a little bit more about what we saw in the Seattle-Vancouver game, more of my predictions for the upcoming preseason games, and then maybe there'll be a little NHL drama we can weigh in on. But thanks as always for watching this video. If you have the time, please hit like and subscribe. Leave a comment if you like, and we'll see you next week on Canucks Crossing.